Thank you for joining in. This project is funded by the European Union Horizon program. Our webinar series is a part of the Circuits project and EU Green Week 2025. Please enjoy.
Hi everyone, my name is Mattia. In a moment I will share my screen, and in the meantime I will briefly present you TXT. So we are a large enterprise focusing on digital solutions, and as part of the Circuits project we have developed part of the digital toolbox that I'm going to share with you and demo. So we have two sessions today. The first one is a brief introduction in theory of what the Circuits toolbox is as an overall solution. What are the benefits and what are the advantages and disadvantages in the adoption? And finally, a focus on the core technologies that powers the tools behind the scenes. And then we will have 15 minutes for a live demo of a portion of the toolbox, demonstrating a real use case so that you get an understanding of how it can benefit certain aspects of the value chain that Paolo presented before. So let's start with the initial assessment. What is the digital toolbox? So the toolbox is a set of independent and interconnected components that we call modules that basically helps in the manufacturing process and in the recycling process overall. So with the toolbox, we opted for a dual approach. So on one side, we opted for a general solution that can adapt to multiple sectors and different actors, so that it is general enough. So we have the idea of supporting the value chain, and we enable this with a series of tools that are, let's say, general enough to adapt to different scenarios and needs. But on the other hand, of course, we cannot be too general, otherwise there won't be anything concrete to demo today. So we had to tailor the offering to specific use cases and pilots that we will see later. So we have this mix. On one side, we have general tools that enable real value in all the life cycle of a component. So from product design to productization to the final recovery of wasted material, reuse if possible, and recycling if not. On the other hand, we have something that is tailored to specific applications that we can measure, so we know how to improve the as-is scenario with the digital tools. So first of all, it is a data-driven process, meaning that we build on top of your data, you bring us your data, and we build on top of them. So you have something that is tailored to your needs. The second key benefit is the ability, since we have this data shared, to run simulations and comparisons, for example, at the beginning of life, comparing different scenarios of tool design, whether an option could be better than another, what is the impact, the footprint, different KPIs. So we can know in advance benefits that are, let's say, embedded in a process, and choosing a process instead of another before even designing this process, so even reducing the time it takes to start from an idea and to select the appropriate solution to implement this idea. And the third one is closing the loop, meaning that we notice a big gap between beginning and end of life, meaning that beginning of life has a lot of valuable insights on how to recover metals or materials from end of life, so from waste product. But this knowledge is not really shared in an easy to understand and standardized way. So we also wanted to tackle this challenge. We have a component that we will demonstrate later that acts in this direction, and it helps also closing the loop and keep in communication beginning and end of life, which is one of the key goals of the Circuits project. Now I've talked about pilots. You can see here the 4 pilots. We have Bosch, Continental, TNO, and Beko. They are tackling different processes, and they will be explained later today. And just a brief mention, our demo that we will see later is focused on the Beko use case, so the last one, on printed circuit boards. And we will see how the toolbox helped this use case to close the loop and help recovery of materials and reuse of components instead of wasting them. Now, I've talked about the toolbox and the tools. So what are these tools in practice? We have 6 different tools that works together, but they can pick and choose and couple together to form synergies depending on your use case. The first one is the digital twin and simulation model that is offered by Office, and it is a component that allows the generation of KPIs and the execution of simulations to simulate, of course, it's a digital twin, so a real counterpart to see strengths and weaknesses and identify possible areas of improvement. The second one is the advisory services. That is a set of tools that leverages AI functionalities. It's a distributed tool, so it builds on top of the digital twin and the next tool that is the LCS and CA, and it helps designing at the beginning of life or recycling at the end of life with a series of simulation tools and dedicated KPIs that shows how to properly assess these two situations, so beginning and end of life. The third one is the LCS and CA tool that is provided by Maras. It is an environmental tool that helps design and implement decisions, taking into account different aspects of a component, so from its environmental, economic, social, or circular impacts. So you have a set of impacts that you can measure and understand how to better improve your design. And finally, we have the 3 tools that Ask-TXT developed that are the advanced HMIs. That is a component that leverages augmented reality, and it's used when traditional HMIs or visualization techniques are not enough. Think, for example, industrial applications or on-the-go usage. Then we have the marketplace tool, that it's the one that I was mentioning before that closes the loop between end of life and beginning of life. It allows to share used parts and knowledge. And finally, the data layer, that is actually a baseline layer shared among all the tools that basically allows data flowing throughout the toolbox, data ingestion from external sources. When I talked about bring your own data, these will be ingested here and then distributed to the tools that need them. So the overall picture, let's say, can be seen here in this slide on the left. This is the latest version of the digital toolbox. As you can see, it's a modular design. There are different layers, so tools can operate at different levels of granularity. And as you can see, they are vertically split, meaning that they are general enough to be picked apart from one another and used individually. But if you need them, they can interact at deeper, lower layers and provide joint effort and joint results. I will stop here. I did a very quick overview due to the time we have. I don't know if there is any question before proceeding to the demo. Otherwise, let me know. I will move to the demo now.
Thank you for watching this webinar episode. If you're as passionate about sustainability and innovation as we are, here's how you can get involved. Stay connected with us on our social media and website for the latest updates and insights from the Circ-uits project. Whether you're an individual or an organization, there are plenty of ways to contribute. Reach out to us to learn more about partnership opportunities, events, and initiatives.